Yo, it's Elliott Hulse. I'm back with another dry vlog. Yo, Elliott! So for those of you guys who've been following me as I've been uploading these weekly vlogs for the past 3 or 4 weeks, you know that I'm on week 2 of a dry fast. Now, the reason why I'm participating in this dry fast has less to do with gains or burning fat or health really at all. That happens to just be a side effect of what I call a spiritual fast. So this is a 19-day Baha'i fast, which was introduced to me and inspired by the Baha'i faith. And so every spring, every March, Baha'is around the world, they fast for 19 days. So that means from sunup to sundown, there's no water and no food. And so you may be asking yourself, why would you put yourself through such a thing, Elliott? Why would you subject yourself to the horrors of no food and no water, particularly because it slows things down, and I'm a high charge kind of guy. And really, that's really the reason why. You know, I'm so physically oriented. And when you participate in a spiritual fast of this sort, it really is about setting aside all the cares of the body, really setting aside the ego. The ego is very interested in keeping the gains going. It's very interested in showing up with lots of energy because you're eating and you're fueling your body with food and drinking water. The ego likes when things are in the status quo. But when this ego is challenged by breaking routines, like a pattern interrupt, you have an opportunity to sink in and commune with the higher being within you, your inner being, or your God self, I like to say. So of course, many of you guys follow me here because you're interested in fitness and health. And so this may sound a little strange, but I would invite you to consider what I'm doing, something that supports you in your total development. You know, I'm not just interested in physical strength, as you probably have noticed by watching my videos over the past several years. It's all about becoming the strongest version of yourself. And if you followed me, you know that there are 4 layers of strength, and it has not just to do with the muscles, the nervous system, and the soul. So this is really perfectly in line with being the strongest version of yourself. But those of you guys who are very much interested in the muscles and not losing muscles when you're fasting, I know I got a lot of Muslim followers here, and you guys fast a lot longer than Baha'is during your Ramadan fast. Also, if you are a practicing Christian, you probably participate in Lent, which, you know, every religious tradition, every spiritual tradition has a fasting period, has a period of letting go of the cares of the body, letting go of the concerns of the ego. And so I believe it's a great idea, not just for, people who enjoy communion with God and their inner being, but anybody who wants to be their strongest self, because it really gives you an opportunity to exercise your willpower, your inner strength, and to connect with something deeper than just our biceps and bulging breast, So I share this vlog with you here today coming from this lower energy place, but I'm going to do my best, and I'm still going to roll with it here like I always do. And I'm going to provide you guys with some really solid information on how you can go about your fasts, getting the most out of it, but also seeing it as a spiritual opportunity, and then also seeing how you can support your health during this fast by proper supplementation, hydration, and eating the right foods. So before I go any further, I totally realize that I run the risk of pissing some people off because I talk about God, I think about God, I love God, I am God, and God is me, and God is you, and God is all of us. And there is no division between any of what's in God's kingdom. All is God's kingdom, all is God. So I can't think of anything better to talk about than God. If you feel like sticking around because you like me and you like the things I say, trust me, I'm going to be dropping some gems. But right now, I'm going to read a prayer that I think is so powerful for those of us who are trying to connect with our inner beings, or I hate even to use the word trying to connect with the inner being, who are drawn to the fragrance of our inner being, wafting its beautiful perfume in our direction. Some of us are just drawn to God. And so if you're drawn and if you are an active participant in your reaching towards the everlasting, I think this is a prayer that might be helpful to you, particularly if you fast. So this is a fasting prayer given by Abdul Baha, and I'm going to go ahead and read it here for you guys. It goes like this. O divine providence, as I am abstaining from bodily desires and not occupied with eating and drinking, even so purify and sanctify my heart from the love of anyone save thyself, and shield and protect my soul from corrupt desires and satanic qualities, so that my heart may commune with the breath of holiness and fast from the mention of all else besides thee. So in the mornings when I get up during my fasting days, I like to read prayers. This is definitely one of the prayers I like to read. And I also like to read poetry. And when I was on Instagram, I found a wonderful fasting poem that was given by Rumi, the Sufi poet. I'm going to share that with you guys here also too, because it really alludes to the physical and spiritual power that's associated with fasting. Rumi goes on to say, there is a hidden sweetness in the stomach's emptiness. We are lutes, no more, no less. If the sound box is stuffed full of anything, no music. If the brain and the belly are burning clean with fasting, every moment a new song comes out of the fire. So beautiful. So yeah, I'm a religious, I'm a poetic, I am a bodybuilding, weightlifting beast. You know, I put up a post on Instagram earlier this week where I'm so happy to be integrating all these parts of me and particularly sharing them with you. You know, I am of mixed race. When I played college football, I was the only guy and the only MVP in the conference to score more touchdowns and sacks than anybody else. You know, I played offense and defense. You know, if you're following me, I'm a yin yang kind of guy. I mean, actually, even though I got big balls and a cock, I'm still kind of a feminine dude. Look, I'm growing out my hair like a lady. So look, I'm just going to kind of own that and offer that to you. I'm all these things, and I see no division. So as it relates to supporting my health during these fasting times, what you ought to know is when I get up in the morning after I read my prayers and poems, I suck down a ton of water and I add some of the sea salt to my water. And I find that not only does it make the water taste better to me, I have reverse osmosis water in my house. And although it's remineralized water, I still want to add a little bit more minerals to it, particularly the sea salt, because it helps to hydrate me a little bit more. You know, a lot of people use Gatorade and shit when they're playing sports, which is loaded with all kinds of chemicals and dyes and crap. But really what they're trying to get are the electrolytes that are available through, through salt, sodium. And when I put the sea salt in it, particularly the one that I use, I'm getting a broad spectrum of minerals. So it's kind of like a mineral supplement that I put in my water. Next, I take my gut healing supplement. So gut health has always been a concern for me my entire life. And so I am using probiotics to make sure that I've got a wonderful balance of healthy bacteria in my gut. And I also take glutamine, as it is great for the muscles. Those of us who bodybuild know this, but it is also great for the gut. It helps heal the gut lining, which oftentimes gets damaged due to bacterial imbalance, dysbiosis, which is caused by using antibiotics, which I've used before in my life, and then just eating a standard American diet. Now, although I eat a very healthy diet, I still take this as insurance against poor health. So before the sun rises, I got to make sure that I get in as many nutrient-dense supplements and foods as possible. So one of the things I do is I drink coffee, so I use butter in my coffee. I also add this bulletproof fatty acid stuff, which I think is wonderful. It adds a ton of calories and fat calories in particular to my diet, which really supports me in my in my health. I also take living fuel. Those of you guys who've been following me long enough, you know that I've been using this stuff for like almost going on 2 decades. It's crazy. I really love it. I also add some amino acids to this, and I take fish oils. So once the sun rises, that's it for the day for me. I go about the rest of my day doing some of the things that I need to get done. And one of the things that I did this week was give this speech to our new incoming class of Strength Camp ambassadors. I really also want to give a shout out to these guys for holding it down all week. It was a super intense boot camp where from sun up to sundown, these guys were working hard in the gym, shadowing us, and also getting a ton, like a fire hose amount of information on business building and marketing. Our goal is to make these guys super successful gym owners. And by the looks of the group in the room, man, these guys are going to do it. And I can't wait to keep you updated on all of the strength camps, many of which are coming to cities near you or already in cities near you. If you're in the UK, definitely check out Strength Camp Chester. Our guy over there is doing an incredible job. He's doing so well that he may be getting ready to open up a second strength camp. And that's exactly what we want for our guys. We want them to build successful gyms and support the world in becoming its strongest self. That's really our mission, our vision, and our mantra. This week I was able to get in 2 workouts. I'll share the first one here with you. I decided that I wanted to get my heart rate up a little bit. You know, those of you guys who fasted before, you know how everything starts to slow down. And even though I'm here in Florida, there are parts of the day where I'm getting chills because I'm so cold due to the slowing down of my metabolism. So before doing anything, I hopped on the treadmill and I did a few sprint intervals here. Next, I took my time and I did a bunch of corrective stretches just to warm up my body, get my body a little bit loose before I went out there and performed my workout. Now, lately I've been doing my workouts in the backyard, but this week it was even more challenging. Not only was I fasting, but there was a ton of pollen out there. And so besides the fact that I'm already dry, I'm sucking in all this yellow soot from the trees, which, you know, made things that much tougher. But you know me, I'm a badass, so I went through with it anyway. Really, I just wanted to get my body moving and hit multiple different muscles from multiple different angles, but also keep it low intensity because I just didn't have the energy to go balls to the wall. So I did these front squats. I did about 3 sets of 8. I also did some overhead pressing with the football bar. This allows me to keep my hands in neutral position. I feel like it's a lot easier on my shoulder. It just feels more natural. From years of doing strongman, I've always lifted logs over my head that way. So I'm happy to have this bar in order to do some pressing. Afterwards, I did some pull-ups. And before doing pull-ups and in between my sets, I do these levator scapula stretches. Ever since tearing my right bicep, I definitely have an imbalance from left to right within my neck and shoulders. And so when I'm doing my pull-ups, I find that I lean to one side. And in order to alleviate that, I stretch my neck, and I find that it keeps me a bit balanced when doing my pull-ups. Of course, afterwards, I hit some biceps, I hit some triceps. And then I finished with some core. You know, at this point I was burnt out and I had a ton of pollen up my nose, and I kept like trying to blow it out, and everything that came out was yellow and pasty and nasty. But so at this point I was too burnt out to do too much of anything too dynamic. So I just did these static holds. I really believe that planks are the best core exercise for me anyway. I really enjoy doing them because they force me to maintain a neutral spine when done properly. And it's one of these exercises where you're stabilizing for an extended period of time. Then I also did prone cobras, which is another static exercise, but it really supports the thoracic extension, external rotation. If you notice the position that I'm in, it's kind of like the reverse of what we're doing most days all day long. You know, so where the arms are usually medially rotated and we're leaning down and our shoulders are hiked up, when doing this exercise, there's a lengthening of the neck, there's an external rotation, I'm lifting my chest up, squeezing my glutes. So it's really one of these great exercises for supporting posture. In the evening at sundown, when I break fast, of course I down a ton of water again, and then I break fast with my bone broth. And those of you guys who watched my vlog a couple weeks ago, you saw me make all those cups of bone broth. And those of you who follow me on Instagram, you see every day I take a picture of my bone broth next to something in my home or something that I'm doing just to keep it entertaining. But it's just fun for me to post every single day. And at the end of the week at Strength Camp, the ambassadors came together and we did a stone ceremony. And this is where everybody got an opportunity to challenge themselves physically and mentally by lifting stones. And if you've ever watched my old videos, you know, man, there's nothing more intense than having Elliott Hulse chewing you out while you're lifting that stone. I love doing it, man. One of the things I love doing more than anything is inspiring people, motivating people, pumping people up. And when we've got these guys here who are like family to us, and we get an opportunity to motivate them to be successful in business, in life, and in the gym, man, it really floats my boat. I gave a really powerful speech before the stone loading, and maybe this week I'll upload that speech, but Danny made some really good videos with the stone loading ceremony, and right now he's working on a mashup video with that, so we'll probably upload that later this week. So before I go, you may have noticed last week I uploaded this video where you see some of my 60-second Yo Elliots that I've been putting on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram at Elliott Hulse. If you don't have Instagram, get Instagram so that you can follow my 60-second Yo Elliots, which I'm having a ton of fun doing. I made Yo Elliots for so many years. I've got over 1,500, probably more, like 2,000 plus videos between my two channels, just answering questions. I've realized that that's probably why I'm here. A big part of the reason why I've been put on this planet is to answer questions. I love doing it. I love this format because I only have 60 seconds, so I've got to spit out exactly what I'm thinking in the most prolific, powerful, and poetic way possible, which makes it a ton of fun for me, and the people who've been watching them have really enjoyed them. The other thing too is if you've got questions for me as it relates to anything that you might want to see a video on, go to my Instagram, hit me up with a DM. Once a week I go in there and I read all the DMs. I mean, I read the DMs every day, but the ones that are associated with questions, I read those and then I bang out about 10 60-second Yo Elliots, upload them throughout the week, and people have been loving them. I think you'll love them also too. These days I've been a lot more active in social media, and so I am reading your comments as you guys watch these videos. So if you've got any questions, concerns, you just want to give me a shout out, man. I love all the love you guys are sharing with me. Put it down below. One thing for sure during this fasting period is that my soul has been speaking to me through my dreams. I've been having some very vivid dreams, one of which reminded me a lot of you guys and the support that you've been showing me as I've come back with all these new videos. The dream that I had last night was very indicative of that. A part of the dream, which, you know, dreams are something that you are meant to interpret yourself. And in the dream, I was working. I was like in a classroom, and I was trying to perform. I was trying to do good for the teacher, and and in the class. And then at the end of the class, the teacher handed me this bag, and inside the bag were tons of different colors paper, just different kinds of paper. And on the paper were really kind comments and nice words, and people writing me letters about how I've inspired them and helped them become their strongest self, and all of the wonderful things that I think it's because I've been reading them from you guys on Instagram and on Facebook. So that dream was kind of like an affirmation from my inner being that I'm on the right track. It was communication from God during this fasting period that it's good, Elliott, keep going, doing what you're doing. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you've been enjoying the past few videos, you're probably here because you want to see more of it, and I am blessed and appreciative of you. Thank you for sticking around through this whole video while I'm a little bit of a lower energy dude right now. My brain is a little foggy. I'm a little low on energy, but I figured, man, I'm going to do this anyway because I just want to continue to share with you guys. I love you guys. I love doing this. This is my calling. This is my life. This is the end of this video. I'll see you guys next week. Done.